consultants and advisors, we are here to help you solve your China business pain points. Now, one of the most common business pain points is when leaders tell me that their Chinese employees are coasting on them and there's absolutely no work ethic. And the blame that they do is they put it all on their team and on their members rather than reflecting on themselves on how they can improve their skill set to be able to lead more effectively. So I want to go through a couple of tips today on how you can inspire, motivate, coach, develop, manage your team to get the best out of them so that the productivity of each of the team members increases. Now, keeping your team inspired and motivated. We've touched on the challenges of keeping yourself motivated, which it can be just as challenging to keep your team motivated, maybe even more. Every day, the people you lead are asking, why? What's the vision? Where are we going? Why do we have to do this? Everyone is looking for a purpose in our work, right? We're all looking for a purpose to our job. And as a leader in China, it goes with the territory to keep your team focused on that purpose. So you've got to make sure that you are inspiring them with a shared vision and encouraging them as you accomplish your goals together. It isn't always easy. We're not always feeling inspired, or perhaps you're unsure how certain things might turn out. When your team is struggling and you're grasping at some way to rekindle the fire, you've got to make sure that you re-share that vision, you re-share that goals. Remember, people are people. We're all emotional beings with highs and lows, but it is up to you as the leader on the ground to inspire, motivate your team. The next is developing, coaching, and mentoring your employees, something which, again, you might assume might take a lot of time. People want to grow in their jobs and in their careers, and it's up to you to make sure they can, to give them the opportunities they need to push them and to guide them. It means looking for strengths, recognizing potential, setting a high bar for them to clear, but assuring them that they can do it and giving them direction and support to believe it. All of this takes time and commitment. Another important part of this equation of developing and mentoring employees is giving recognition. We all need to know we matter. Okay, everyone wants to feel seen. We want to feel seen, heard, and appreciated by our investors and shareholders. You can imagine that your team also wants to feel that way. Saying things like, thanks for everything you do. I see what you did in this moment and appreciate your work. Taking them out for lunch on a one-to-one basis to have a chat and talk. Paying attention, listening actively, making a genuine effort to help your team value their own strengths, find fulfillment, and grow toward their potential is critical to avoid high employee turnover. The next is this happened to me personally, but I do see it happen with a lot of foreigners going into China. When you're managing people and resources, you're managing. You're not micromanaging. That distinction in and of itself could have been another leadership challenge, but for our purposes, we're talking about the constant problem solving, arranging the chessboard, navigating the complexities, handling the team dynamics. It's the daily pressures of good decision making. All of that wrapped up into a bundle of challenges that can tie certain leaders in knots. Do not forget about delegation. Actually, delegation is probably my biggest word for 2023 as I try to get over my micromanaging management skills. I am trying to delegate more. Delegating is not easy because my assumption is I always do it better than others, which is wrong to have. I have my team so that they can do the work, and especially those that have that specific skill set that's better than me. Why shouldn't they be doing it, right? Delegating is not easy. When you do it right, though, delegating is about empowering the others to do the work and feel like they have responsibility to achieve something with that work, okay? And I know in China, I laugh because this is really an issue that I struggle with. I always feel like I'll do it better than them. I'll take care of this. I'll do that. I just don't have the time and the manpower to do it. So at some point, you do have to delegate that skill set. Developing your own skills as a manager in China is critical because you really have to understand the Chinese culture. You really need to understand the Chinese language. You have to understand that your team, if they're speaking English to you, it's their second language. So there's a lot of skills that you need to develop yourself on a emotional level, but also just from a cultural standpoint and how to do it, how very simply to be a professional in the Chinese environment. This is not easy, but you do have to take time yourself to learn these skills, recognize when you are off board and when you're doing something wrong. The next is guiding change. Change is the only constant, and that's a cliche these days, but a long time ago it was really a profound philosophy. And it's true. If there's one thing we can count on, especially in this day and age, is that things will always change. When you look at the Chinese market, things can change literally overnight, okay? Regulations can change. I mean, you have to be up to date on a daily basis. For a leader, that means facing the challenges that come along with change in organizations. Understand how things are going to be different, plan for them, account for the fallout. Reassure teams when things are uncertain, bringing people along for the ride when they're resistant to change. When there was COVID, and in China, the doors were opening up end of 2020, early 2021, and remote working was going back live in the office. There was so much resistance from people to go back in the office because they had fear. And it had to come from the leaders to say, guys, you've got nothing to worry about. I'm here. I'm in the office. I've walked or taken transportation from home to the office and I still don't have COVID. You can come. You as the leader have to set the example to guide for change. Making hard decisions. There's always an easy way out, but in 99.9% of the times, it's never the right choice. Being a leader in China is about making those tough decisions, and sometimes they're gut-wrenching. This can be hard. So one thing I want to highlight here is if you don't have the right team and you don't have the right skill set within that team to be able to delegate, and you don't believe that those certain team members can bring you to the vision and hit those goals and targets, you've got to make the hard decision of letting them go. This was a very difficult thing for me to do back in the day because I was so scared to rock the boat. I was so scared that if I would fire one person, everybody would go, and then I would be left alone. That's not going to happen in reality. So you've got to be able to make the tough decisions, realize there are no takebacks. You've made your bed, you've got to lie in it, and make sure that you still have the ability to sleep through the night afterwards. And realize that there might be consequences or fallouts, but that you as a team will come together. And remember, if you have made a decision and you were wrong in the end, admit that you were wrong and say it to your team. I was wrong in doing that. So that, I hope, kind of gives you an idea of, yeah, we can all stand around and say our Chinese employees are coasting. There's no work ethic here, but ultimately it means that you are not acting as a leader. And I hope today I highlighted in this video the skill sets that you need to make sure that your Chinese employees are not coasting on you. And if you have implemented those skill sets and they're still coasting, well, then why aren't you terminating them? Make that tough decision and say, you got to go. Okay, you're not helping this company at all. We need to remove you. I hope this business episode has helped you in understanding certain pain points that clients have had in China. If you would like to have a free 15-minute call to go through your own pain points that you're currently experiencing, I'm providing you with a link to our diary where you can set up a call and we can discuss whether we can help you to overcome them. If you liked this video, please click on the like button. That helps us to get more viewers. And if you would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. You will then get daily insights into doing business in China. And hopefully they will help you to become successful and overcome the challenges and pain points that we all go through. And if you would like to learn more about what I do or what we do at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors, head on over to our website at woodburnglobal.com. Have a wonderful day. Take care and goodbye.